Hi everyone, today we will talk about the graphs of exponential functions. So please turn to a new page of your notebook, write down the date of today and the learning targets. So there are two. The first one is sketch the graphs of exponential function. And the second one is identify the properties of exponential function. So for the graphs of exponential function, there are two cases. The first case is a is greater than 1. That means the base is greater than 1. And I can give you an example, that is y is equal to 1.8 to the power x. Okay, so now let's do an activity. So as you can see, there is a graph, okay, and the graph shows the exponential function of y equals to 1.8 to the power x. Also, there are two tables representing y equals to 2 to the power x and y equals to 3 to the power x. Okay, so now please help me to pause the video and then complete the tables, okay, with different values of x. Also, please help me to plot the graphs according to the values you have found in the tables. And I will check the answer with you later. So let's check the answer together. So first, please help me to check the answer in the table. So please make sure that all the answers you calculate are correct. And then please take a look of the graphs. So for the graph, you don't have to draw it perfectly, okay? Just roughly with the shape is already okay. Okay, then let's do the discussion together. So in the graphs, there are total 3 properties, okay? The first one is about the base. So now I will highlight the base 3, the base 2, and the base 1.8. So please help me to think about when the number of the base decrease from 3 to 2 to 1.8, okay? What will the graph change, okay? Or what will the shape of the graph change? So as you can see, as the number of the base decrease, the graph will become flatter. Okay, so then the next property is where is the intersection of these graphs? Okay, where do this graph intersect? And the answer is here. And the value is 0, 1. And finally, for the third property, it is about the graph must be above the x-axis. Okay, so these are the 3 properties of exponential functions. Okay, so I will mark it down below. So for the graph y equals to a to the power x, that a is greater than 1. The first property is when the value of a is smaller, the smaller the a, okay, the flatter the graph. Okay, and in Chinese, flatter means so for the second properties, that is all graph intersect. That means they must pass through the points 0 and 1. And finally, for the exponential function, all the graph must be above x-axis. So all graph line above x-axis. So let's take a look of case 2 of exponential function. So this time the value of a is between 0 and 1. So in other words, that means it can be a decimal or it can be a fraction. On the right, I have shown you an example that is y is equals to 1 over 2 to the power x. And below, the graph show you y equals to 1 over 2 to the power x and y equals to 1 over 3 to the power x. So you can roughly draw the graph on your notebook. Okay, so in case 2, as you can see, the graph this time will change into another sign. Okay, and then let's compare the numbers together, 1 over 2 and 1 over 3. So can you observe that which graph is flatter this time? Okay, so as you can see, the graph of y equals to 1 over 2 to the power x is flatter. So that means for the case that a is between 0 and 1, if the number is larger, the graph is flatter. Okay, then this time, do the graphs intersect at 0, 1? And the answer is yes. Okay, and finally, let's take a look at the third one, that is, compare the graphs with the x-axis. Okay, do they line above x-axis? And the answer is yes again. So then we can draw the conclusion about the properties. So for the case that a is between 0 and 1, the larger the a, the flatter the graph. Okay, and for second and the third properties, they are same as case 1. Okay, so let's come to the final property of exponential functions. So please take a look of the picture on the left first. The picture shows you the graph of y equals to 1 over 3 to the power x and y equals to 3 to the power x. Okay, so can you observe any special thing about these two graphs? Or can you observe that they reflect with each other with respect to the y-axis? Okay, that means the y-axis just like a mirror and then reflect the graphs with each other. Okay, and generally, please take a look of the picture on the right hand side. Okay, so generally for the graph, for the exponential function y equals to a to the power x, okay, it must reflect with the exponential function of its reciprocal 1 over a. Okay, and the y-axis is the axis of symmetry. And you can mark down the property that they reflect each other. And finally, for the remaining time, please help me to finish the homework for today. That is exercise 6C. Question 9, 10, and 11.